Hey there, it's the same day as yesterday, if that makes sense. The same day that I recorded the video from yesterday's video, which is the same day. I hope you won't get some headache by thinking about that. It's just that I've come up with another ideology. When I saw this car in front of me, you might want to turn your phone and look at the car in front of me. This is the Proton Wira, a Malaysian made car, which is about, I guess, almost 20 years in age. But the number plate, right, that's not the original. I'm sure that is not the original number plate that it was given before, because this kind of cars, this model, the latest should be JH something, while this one is JKC. By the way, what I'm trying to say to you is that that car that has just passed and entered the north-south highway, the age, it has been aged like 20 years or more, and it has a sticker on it saying that Pantah Lupus Kereta Lama, which is in Malay, but in English is that against the idea of diminishing old cars. Okay, so that's the topic for today. Yes, Malaysia has been trying to enforce this kind of a bill, yes, enforce a bill saying that all the cars that has passed the age of 10 years must be demolished, and in return the government will give some compensation for the owners so that the owners can go get a new one, which is, of course, every story has two sides. From the sides of the government, they want to do that legally, because we are trying to abide to the act of being environmentally friendly, which means that, yes, of course, the cars that has been almost exceeding the age of 10 years, the engine is not efficient anymore, and the piston rings might get leaked, and the lubricants might seep into the combustion chamber and mix with the fuel, and the outcome of the exhaust, like the one in front of us, this bus, as you can see, the fume that is being transmitted out of the exhaust pipe is visible and smelly too, which is not environmentally friendly. So that legally is the idea of the government to enforce the bill of demolishing cars that has been surpassed the age of 10 years, which is good. But of course, this is my idea. What I think about it is that it might also resulted from some push from the car manufacturers, because if there are more and more car owners keeping their cars like 10, 20 or even 30 years, then the car manufacturers will not have some profits or margin to sustain their companies, right? Or maybe to have more profits to feed their CEOs. So, you know, this kind of things happen where this the men dealt with each other so that everybody gets a piece of the pie of the deal. You know, we're not going to be sure what's the real story is, but and from the view of the driver, let's talk about the other side of the story, right? As I told you, there are always two sides of a story. So from the side of the car owners, that I think I'm going to be categorized in this group, which is the people who already finish up their full settlement of their loans for the cars, for their hire purchase, and then we, of course, when we already paid up all of our debts, we would like to keep our cars as long as we can, because we've been struggling to pay for it, especially during this epidemic era or during the pandemic era. So there is more and more sentimental value that we have put up into our properties. And in this topic, our property that we are mentioning is our vehicles and cars. So of course we would like to keep it as long as we can, and we drivers, of course, we want our cars to be in a very good condition to be driven. And of course, everybody, I'm sure, like 80% at least of from all of us, has the mentality of being environmentally friendly, right? So even though that our cars are like 10, 20 or 30 years old, if it is being maintained regularly, and we keep the condition of the engines, and like I've mentioned just now, the piston ring, the gaskets, and those kind of things that seal and keep separating the lubricants from the fuel, then the car will be in a good condition. Of course, there is another thing that is being concerned by the government by trying to enforce the bill, is that cars that is being too old might fail in their braking system, their acceleration, and some other faults or damages that might occur, that might end up creating traffic jams. Because when the cars got malfunctioned and it happened on the highway or in the middle of nowhere, and the car will be stalled there without being able to move, and it will create traffic jam, these kind of things. But yes, I mean, both sides of the stories have their own agenda, but also both sides of the story, the people involved has their own responsibility. So I think the best to start with is the driver or the car owners themselves to maintain their cars, have it checked regularly, make sure that everything works well, and it is not emitting dangerous fumes or damaging fumes that can enlarge the holes in our ozone. So that's it, right? So main story is keep your cars in a fit and healthy condition, and everything will go well. So I think that's the chance for me to breathe in, because I think I've talked so long by wanting to just convey a simple message. But yes, of course, everybody has their own brain power, which is, like mine, is quite slow, but I try to convey the full message like I intended to. So for that, thank you again for joining me. And again, the bottom line of today is keep your cars and vehicles in a good condition, and keep your engine healthy, and everything will go well, and the world excuse me, will be a peaceful place for everybody to live in. And with that, I will see you in the next video.